We're speaking with Sally Smith of Buffalo Wild Wings. She's one of the Food Channel Pro's Leaders with Guts. Sally, what's the marketing philosophy at Buffalo Wild Wings?
You know, great question. Our marketing philosophy is, it probably has several legs to it. One, on our TV campaigns, which we've been able to do for about 10 years, or 5 years on a national basis, it's really to give the guest, whether it's the current guest or the future guest, an idea of what it's like in a Buffalo Wild Wings, and that it's a place to come, watch the games, hang out with friends, and celebrate. But more important than that is, from a marketing standpoint, it's about getting involved in the community. So our local store marketing is, how do you partner with that local high school? How do you partner with a soccer team, various schools? What can you do to make Buffalo Wild Wings, in whatever location you're at, part of the community they're in? And it has to be authentic. It can't be just, you know, oh, we're Buffalo Wild Wings and why'd you come here? But how can we help you? Can we raise money for you? One of our programs we have going on right now is actually a fund night, and so we'll help you raise funds. We'll help you set up the event. You come to Buffalo Wild Wings, and we'll give you 15% of whatever was sold in the restaurant that day. And it doesn't have to be part of a national campaign. It's what that general manager is working on in their restaurant with whoever it is wants to raise money.
And where did that idea come from?
It came from the field. We had, you know, as you bring people in, or as I'm out in the field, I'm always asking, what are they doing different? How are they connecting to the community? And one of them said, we just decided to do fundraisers. So let's say the high school needs new jerseys. Well, we'll help them achieve that. And it's only it's one time. They come in for that night or that day, and then the proceeds go to help fund whatever it is they're looking to raise money for.
Sally, how did your free Wings for a Year promotion get started?
Well, that's a great story. You know, several years ago, when we were in a significant amount of our growth, we were in 4 markets at one time, and one market wasn't going so well. So we stopped and we said, okay, what do we need to do differently? And we realized we needed a strategic initiative, which we call Open Strong, which turned into Open Strong, Stay Strong. And one of the promotions that we decided to do was free wings for a year for the first 100 people in line. Well, it took off. I mean, we have photos. We get news stations are out there. We have photos of people standing in line. Syracuse, New York. We opened in February one year. People get in line 24 hours in advance. There was a snowstorm, and people are standing there. They were, you know, they'll bring cooktops, and it's just kind of a buzz about Buffalo Wild Wings coming to town, and a way for us to reward people who are willing to stand out in any weather to be the first ones in the restaurant.
Sally, how popular are Wing Tuesdays and Boneless Thursdays in your operation?
Well, Tuesdays and Thursdays are promotional days at Buffalo Wild Wings. Wing Tuesday, as the name implies, is we have a set price, and you can order and eat as many wings as you can for a certain price. That day in particular goes back to our very start in 1982, when our founders, Jim Disbrow and Scott Lowry, wanted to spice things up. Tuesday was a very slow business day for them, so they thought, what can we do to make Tuesday lively? So Wing Tuesday's been going on for almost 30 years. When we introduced Boneless Thursdays in 2003, it was another opportunity for us to give the guest a great value, a great promotion, and drive maybe a little bit more business into the restaurants. And now they're wildly popular days. In fact, so popular that sometimes it's hard to find a seat on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Wow, wow. How does Buffalo Wild Wings utilize social media?
You know, we're just starting on that. Luckily, we have people that are a generation younger than me that really understand it. But we are I think we're now moved up to the top 25 Facebook pages in the country. I know we were on the top 50 list, and I did see that I think Starbucks has gone over 10 million fans. I think we're at about 1.5 million fans on just 650 plus restaurants. So what we do is we'll post questions out there. But our guests had already started creating Facebook groups for Buffalo Wild Wings long before we had launched our first page. The other thing we do is at the kickoff of football season this year, we will be taking over, I know ESPN.com, I think NFL.com, and a whole number of other sites for the opening day of football season. So,
And how do you encourage customer feedback, and what do you do with that information once you have it?
well, there's a couple of ways. Our guests have always been passionate about contacting us, for both suggestions on what we need to improve, as well as raving stories. In fact, I have a 3-page handwritten letter from a woman in Lima, Ohio, who is telling me about her granddaughter and what the store has done to go above and beyond. I have a dozen pictures. So we take our guest feedback. We have one person that's responsible just for responding to guests. So we might get it in via email, via Facebook, written, or phone call. And we address every comment that we get.
Interesting. I know that town. I always thought it was, you're pronouncing it correct. I always wanted to pronounce it Lima.
Yeah, I think it's Lima, Ohio.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think it's Lima in Peru.
I think you're right. How involved are you in the television commercials for Buffalo Wild Wings?
Well, before we shoot a commercial, I will have seen storyboards for a number of options. So we may have different storylines. We'll take those, I see those before they even go to the National Ad Board, and give my thoughts on them. Then I leave it to the marketing department to find the producer along with our advertising agency, the talent, and then when we're getting into the final cuts of it and kind of the final finishing, I'll see them again and I'll watch them a number of times, and that's when I'll notice something or make a suggestion, and they'll tweak it a little bit. But I typically know what direction we're going in before they're shot.
And how many times do you do that? I mean, how often do those ads run?
Well, we have, we produce TV commercials depending on when we need them, and we'll try to produce 2 or 3 at a time, and that's typically once a year. From how often they run is we have 6 major promotional periods during the year where we will utilize national advertising. And then during that time, they'll be on anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks in various markets.
Historically, in your time here, what have you found in terms of marketing that has really driven customer counts the most?
I think marketing is the hardest thing to determine if you're getting a return on your investment. Marketers will say, without it, you're not going to have any guests. Operators will say, well, they're coming in for the great service and food. I think what drives marketing, or what marketing message is out there the most, I think giving the guest an idea of what the restaurant is like, and then being very true and consistent to that, to delivering that, whether it's food or the experience. And then who could beat word of mouth? Sometimes I think just wearing our logo around is the best marketing message that we can send.
How important do you think humor is in terms of advertising?
Well, you've probably seen our commercials, and they're right out there on the edge. They're memorable. I do think that it's important. I mean, that's what the restaurant is all about, is about having fun. So that's what we want our commercials to say. The other thing is we're kind of known now for having that little bit at the end that catches people off guard. And since you're known for that, people start looking for it. We have to keep delivering on that. I think it helps us break through the clutter.
We've been talking with Sally Smith of Buffalo Wild Wings and the Vice Chairman of the National Restaurant Association. Check out the next part of this series as we explore what it takes to be a leader with guts. For Food Channel Pro, I'm Ellen Codiff.